With all of the major events happening this week, you'd think that CNN would find something more interesting to focus on other than the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. However, as long as we're talking about this subject, we might as well enjoy Scott Jennings completely owning the leftists over here on this topic. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. All right, let's get into it.
You know, Scott, we were just talking about the reflecting pool in the last hour, and the president has been posting about it. He posted a picture of someone who I guess ostensibly is at the reflecting pool wearing a shirt that says Team Algae. And the president posted a very long post. I'm not going to read all of it, but he said that they're cleaning up all of these fountains and statues in Washington. And on the Lincoln Memorial itself, he said, we've had some real problems with vandalism at the reflecting pool. And just like 3 days ago, they destroyed the grass outside the pool. They've also done everything possible to hurt the inside surface that was installed. He said no different than the chemicals that were used on the National Mall, referencing that 8647 that someone put into the grass. He said they used something similar in the reflecting pool to try to destroy and demean our beautiful work. I mean, I haven't heard that, but I mean, I wonder what you make of the president's lengthy post tonight. Also attacking a reporter for reporting on the condition of the Lincoln reflecting pool.
Well, regarding the vandalism, that's absolutely true. Somebody did vandalize the grass. Even when workers were working on the reflecting pool, I think I read that people came and vandalized their trucks and their equipment. Look, you have people that hate Donald Trump so much that they would go out and destroy our national monuments, vandalize the Lincoln Memorial, vandalize the grass. That's how broken-brained they are. Donald Trump has cleaned up Washington. The fountains work. The city is clean. The city is safe. It's good that he has taken an interest in this. And you have these people out here who are so broken-brained about the fact that he's the president that they're spending their time vandalizing all this stuff. I think it's terrible. And I hope anybody who vandalizes our monuments, I hope they get caught and I hope they get put in jail. He's trying to make the city beautiful for America 250. There's going to be a lot of people in Washington. They deserve to go to a clean, safe capital. And that's what he's trying to do.
Ameshia?
Well, President Trump isn't the president of landscaping and beautification projects across D.C. I think that the $14 million plus price tag that is associated with this cleanup project was ridiculous. When the majority of Americans are asking for affordability, they're asking for affordable health care, they're asking for affordable child care, they're asking for affordable housing, they're asking for affordable utility bills, and they can't pay for gas. This is a president whose priorities are all topsy-turvy and one who's not listening to any of his voters who are literally calling on him to do something that actually matters to them in their pocketbooks. Instead, he has taken it upon himself to be the landscaper in chief.
Scott?
Ameshia, can I ask you a question? Did you oppose President Obama spending $34 million on the Lincoln Memorial and the reflecting pool?
I know that when President Obama invested, he did it with science in mind. So there was not an LG takeover. This guy chose someone who didn't even have a background in the beautification he sought to begin with. This is somebody who he knew personally because of his Mar-a-Lago connections, but not someone who was able to do exactly what anybody else, I worked at the EPA, knew that LG was going to come. You don't necessarily have to be a science-minded person to know what was going to happen, but this president basically flushed our money down the drain and continues to do so.
So for the record, you believe that algae didn't exist when Barack Obama was the president. Is that right?
I believe that once he invested in the beautification of that specific part, what we did not see was a takeover that was blue and green within 36 to 48 hours after the investment happened. Because we just didn't see anything happen.
Just for the record, for 1.6 billion years, algae has existed in stagnant pools on planet Earth, but not during the Obama administration.
What I'm saying is that it was treated, which is what Donald Trump could have done before he invested millions of American taxpayer dollars when Americans are fighting to put food on the tables for their families.
I learned something tonight. I didn't realize that President Obama had cured algae when for 1.6 billion years algae had been undefeated. So I've learned something
Scott,
this evening. Look, here's the deal.
I think part of it was that the president was coming out and he has talked about these projects so much. I mean, he's not just like, this isn't just other people bringing up what he's doing in Washington with the ballroom and the reflecting pool. He brings them up pretty much every chance he's in front of cameras. But he was the one who said they wouldn't have algae, they wouldn't have this, that they were going to fix this. And then I think it's not just the algae, it's the fact that the paint is peeling off and all of that. And now he's blaming it on vandals, but I'm not totally sure that that's the reason that the pool is having issues.
It's the incompetence of the contractor he chose.
The pool is having issues because it is a stagnant pool of water in the summer in the middle of a swamp. You're never going to defeat all the algae. The pool did need a renovation. Look, I'll tell you this. I fight algae every day. I have chickens and I have these watering jugs in the coops. They get green every day. Now, it doesn't hurt the chickens, but I got to clean them up. I know all too well. I feel for the president. Trying to clean up algae out of a pool of water in the summertime is a hard thing to do.
Can we fight the American hunger crisis? I mean, that's what people are asking for. The American hunger crisis and housing affordability. Again, the president really needs to prioritize what matters to everyday Americans.
Ameshia Cross,
People can do
Scott
two things at the
Jennings.
same time. The Capitol does not have to be a cesspool and a crap hole. It can be safe and it can be clean, and we can have a good economy. All these things are possible with a president with enough imagination.
CNN is a literal joke. World is on fire, and these clowns are hyperventilating over algae in the reflecting pool, just because Trump wants it cleaned up. Ameshia Cross calling Trump the landscaper-in-chief is the dumbest take of the year. So making our nation's capital not look like a literal swamp means he isn't governing? Jennings shut that nonsense down real quick. The left hates America so much, they'll defend pond scum, just to spite Trump. Obama literally did the exact same renovations on the reflecting pool years ago, and the media gave him a standing ovation. Trump tries to fix the same recurring problem, and suddenly it's a national crisis. Scott Jennings hit the nail on the head. These unhinged leftists don't care about the policy. They just see the name Trump and suffer immediate brain rot. If Trump cured cancer, CNN would complain about the doctors losing their jobs. It's pure automatic resistance to anything good for the country. The TDS over on CNN is laughable. The left trying to deflect to housing and affordability is hilarious. Like the federal government can't hire a cleaning crew while also dealing with the economy? Spoiler alert, the economy was better under Trump anyway. Cleaning up the National Mall doesn't stop inflation. Notice how CNN brushes past the actual vandalism happening around the National Mall, but spends an hour crying about Trump fixing public spaces? Jennings totally dismantled Ameshia. They are so blinded by TDS, they'd rather let DC rot than give Trump a win. This whole segment proved everything we know about the fake news media. Everything Trump does has to be a scandal. It's an algae bloom that happens every single year due to the weather, but CNN spins it like it's a constitutional crisis. Scott Jennings is the only adult on that network. He completely exposed the false arguments. Maintaining our public infrastructure and reducing crime in DC should be a no-brainer. But because it's Trump's initiative, the left has to stage a performative protest over literal pond water. Ameshia Cross looked completely foolish. Governments have multiple departments for a reason. Taking care of our capital doesn't mean the rest of the administration stops working. When this stupid algae controversy fades out next week, CNN will just invent another hollow narrative to get outraged about. It's a never-ending script. Big shout out to Jennings for bringing actual facts and exposing the blatant double standard between how they treated Obama versus Trump.